Every time you step into a boat and you push off the dock, you're stepping into the circle of life. You're becoming a part of the ecosystem. Sometimes that means you're dealing with challenging conditions. Sometimes that means you're having a perfect bluebird day and a beautiful sunrise or a beautiful sunset. You know, sometimes you're getting poured on in unbelievable downpouring rain and howling northeast winds, and all of it is to be enjoyed.
Certain times you don't get a lot of shots. You know, you might have one and the wind's howling and the boat's moving and the fish just pops up right in front of you. When you make a split-second reaction and cast and hook up on that fish, it's very rewarding. To me, fly fishing can never really be mastered, so it's something you're always working towards. You can think you've mastered it one day and then you can go back another day and it just completely humbles you back to the beginning.
There's something about the idea of putting EP and some chicken feathers or some rooster hackle on a hook and tying it up, and you've tricked this wild animal into eating this stupid looking thing, and that fish for that moment before it hits the reel is literally in your hand.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
Our estuary is a living, breathing ecosystem that's constantly in flux. Without the Spartina grass, it would be a lot like fly fishing in other places. But the Spartina itself presents an unbelievably unique challenge.
Around a full moon or a new moon, you get these bigger tides that get the water level up and flood that grass. So that only happens a few times a year. You have to have the right equipment, you have to have the right boat, you have to learn how to run a boat, you have to learn how to pull a boat in various weather conditions. You really have to be on your game when the conditions are right.
You got to pull it through the Spartina grass, which naturally acts as a force of friction against the bottom of your boat. You're having to deal with wind, you're having to deal with currents, you're having to deal with tide, currents coming in, the currents coming out. It's opposing the wind, it's creating standing waves on your run to the next spot. Sometimes you have this perfect weather day where you think the fish are just gonna totally cooperate, but you don't see anything. When you grind through all those challenges and you get into this spot where they're everywhere. They're everywhere. You can't look in a single direction within 30 yards of you and not see fish popping, blowing up, slurping, tailing. It's so fun. When it works out like that, it's the best.
Once they get up in the grass a little bit, they'll start digging down instead of looking up and put their tails up.
Well, that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. He's gonna eat it. He got it. He's on. Attaboy.
Oh my gosh, he's all wrapped up in the pine now. I guess I like to fish.
Fish, 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 fish.
Oh my God. I want this on video. Y'all seeing one right there?
sir.
Estuaries rely on a very specific balance of fresh and salt water. It's been dredged, it's been jettied, it's been straightened, channelized, and that allows a lot of salt water that's not supposed to be there to come up the river.
I've seen massive changes to the river that we have that feeds into our estuary. There used to be big grass flats in the river that are totally gone. There are big cypress trees on the edge of the river now that are just totally gone.
The mangrove line that used to exist south of Jacksonville is reaching further and further and further north. And that means ultimately that if the mangroves take over the Spartina, that would be the end of flood tide fishing. Freshwater fly guys love a private access stream loaded with trout, but if you think about on a national scale, the freshwater fly fisheries that have been the best conserved, they're the ones that have the most connection, the most attention on a national scale. That's what we're trying to develop here in Northeast Florida.
We have a great community of anglers here in Northeast Florida. Our anglers they're educated, they're passionate about what we have here and trying to protect it. For us, it's been very important bringing them all together to kind of have this one voice locally about these issues. Having guys like Taylor and Steven, who are younger, very passionate, great anglers, it's very encouraging to see. And with my children coming up, hopefully we can keep passing it on and maybe we'll see some real change soon.
Having them as part of that community, you need these younger guys to be able to carry the torch on. We're not inheriting these ecosystems from our parents or our grandparents, we're actually borrowing them from our children.
I like to get as close as I can to nature without them knowing that you're there.
They do some weird stuff here in Northeast Florida that you don't see everywhere else because of the ecosystem.
We do our jobs right, it'll look exactly like this here in 50, 60 years from now.
Everything has to go right for you to catch a fish on fly. The cast has to go right, your line management, presentation is everything.
Sometimes you fall into the water and you become one with the water. I saved the mic.